Okay, I'm gonna make a video on how to use the OmniPod pods with Cellucortef for adrenal insufficiency. So the little pouch that the pods come in comes with a pod, and then it comes with a needle and syringe that you just have to snap the needle together. And this is the one you use to fill the pod. So you have the PDM, which is the remote, and then the pods come with this. I have this little cover for my pods. I don't know if you can read that. I think you probably could have read it if I hadn't put it on the pod. It says, not insulin, contains Cellucortef. I got this one on Etsy, and I don't remember the seller, but you can search for those. So I keep that on my pod. So I use the Actovials. I know other people use different ones with like just the powder and their own sterile water. I don't. My insurance covers the Actovials. I've never had any kind of allergic reaction. I think it's easier. That's just my personal preference. I know if you're using something else, you're going to have to adjust for that. But these are 100 milligrams for 200 milliliters, which means when you're programming your pods, your pump, you want 2 units you're going to have 2 units equaling 1 milligram. So in here, it'll say twice as many units as you're actually getting in milligrams, if that makes sense. So mine's already programmed, already set up. It asks you, would you like to activate a new pod now? And I say yes. It says fill a new pod with insulin. So you're going to fill your pod with the Cellucortef. It's nice because the needles that come with this hold 200 milliliters, which is exactly how much is in here. So I don't have to measure anything out. I just empty the vial. Then there's a little tiny hole. It even has an arrow to tell you where to put it. You just fill it. It says after filling the pod, listen for 2 beeps. Can you hear that? And then it says press next. So you press next. And then it's going to prime the pod, which means it's getting it into the system so that it has no air bubbles. So when you put it on your body, it's not going to get air into you because this is tubeless. It primes it for you. When you have a tubed pump, which I can make a video of my Medtronic too if you want me to. When you have a tubed pump, you have to watch the tube until you see that no air bubbles are in there. This is just doing that same priming thing for you. So it clicks. I don't know if you can hear it. On the remote, it says priming. And it takes a couple of minutes. You can probably hear my husband sanding in the garage, sanding wood. Okay, it stopped clicking. So now it says, prepare your infusion site, remove the pod's needle cap. If the cannula sticks out as shown below, press discard. So it has this little plastic tab that you pull off. You want to make sure the cannula is not sticking out yet. And then you just remove the paper that's on the adhesive. Choose a spot. You know, you're going to put it on wherever you want. Make sure it's clean. You've washed it with alcohol, whatever. I'm just going to put mine on my belly. So you just stick it to your body. You make sure that there are no lumps in the adhesive. So I just stuck it to my belly. And then I push next. It says, if the pod looks okay, apply to site, push next. So I push next. Then I say, it says push start to insert the cannula. So once you push start, it inserts the cannula for you. You don't do anything. It clicks a couple times. Then you hear a pop. Did you hear that? So that was the needle going in to put the cannula in. It goes in and retracts itself. On the pod itself, there's a little window that you can see. And yep, I see that the cannula is inserted correctly. So it says, is it inserted correctly? Yes or no? Pod is active. Basal 1 has been programmed. So I just push yes. And when you get this, you'll adjust it however you need to so that you can do multiple basals. So you can have like your regular day one, then sick day rates or whatever. And at the top, it tells you how many units you have left, when the pod will expire. So one thing about OmniPod is the pod is only good for 72 hours, which is fine for me because it's empty before 72 hours in my case because of how many units I'm using per day. So, but if you happened to be on a dosage where it would last you more than 72 hours, it won't let you keep it on that long. You have to replace it after 72 hours. So hopefully that's helpful.